There was a boy named Aryan who lived in a small, quiet village. Every morning he woke up early and walked through the dusty village paths alone. He was a good-hearted boy with a strong desire to do something great. But there was one big problem in his life that nobody talked about. Aryan could not hold a proper conversation with anyone around him. Every time he tried to speak to someone, words got stuck deep inside his throat. He would say fine, good, okay, and then stay completely silent with no more words. People around him started calling him a quiet and boring person with nothing to say. Even at the village gatherings, everyone would laugh and talk loudly, but Aryan would sit alone in a corner. He felt empty inside, like a dry field waiting for something good to fall from the sky. He wanted friends, he wanted connection, but he simply did not know how to begin a real talk. His grandfather was an old, strong man who had seen many seasons of life with great wisdom. He sat every evening under the old big tree at the edge of the village fields. People loved to come and sit near grandfather because he always made everyone feel deeply heard. Aryan noticed how his grandfather could talk to any person, young, old, rich, or poor, and make them smile instantly. One evening, Aryan sat beside grandfather and said quietly, "Grandfather, why can nobody connect with me easily?" His grandfather looked at him slowly with calm and steady eyes full of deep understanding. He said, "Aryan, the problem is not your words. The problem is your attention." Aryan frowned and said he did not understand what that truly meant right now. Grandfather smiled and said, "When you speak, where is your mind living at that moment?" Aryan thought hard and realized his mind was always somewhere else far away. He was always thinking about what people might think of him during the talk. Grandfather nodded and said, "When your mind is not fully present, your words carry no real warmth inside them." That evening, something small but very powerful shifted quietly inside Aryan's heart forever. The next day, Aryan decided to go and observe Baba Guru, the wisest old man in the entire village. Baba Guru was not a rich man, but he was respected by every single person in the whole village area. Children ran to him, farmers bowed to him, and even elders asked for his honest and kind advice regularly. Aryan sat far away and watched how Baba Guru talked to people every single day carefully. He noticed something very interesting and surprising about this simple old man's way. Baba Guru never started by talking about himself or his own great achievements and stories. He always started by asking a small but genuine question about the other person's real life. He would ask things like, "How is your field doing this dry season, brother?" Or, "Is your mother's health better now this week?" The person's face would immediately light up with warmth and true happiness from being noticed. Aryan watched this happen again and again for the whole morning with full focus. He saw that people did not just want someone to talk at them with empty, hollow words. They deeply wanted someone to truly notice them, see them, and genuinely care about their daily life. That one simple observation changed how Aryan saw every single conversation from that day forward. Later that week, Aryan gathered all his courage and approached Baba Guru respectfully with his head down. He said, "Baba Guru, I want to learn how to talk to people the right way properly." Baba Guru looked at Aryan for a long moment with those deep and kind, knowing eyes of his. Then he said slowly and clearly, "Aryan, most people fail at small talk because they talk to be heard loudly." Aryan kept listening with every part of his being wide awake and fully alert. Baba Guru continued, "They prepare their next sentence while the other person is still speaking to them." Aryan felt a sharp truth hit deep inside his chest like a stone dropped in still water. Baba Guru said, The day you listen with your full heart open wide, that day everything changes completely. He gave Aryan a simple and powerful practice to do every single day without fail. Go and talk to one new person each morning, with only one real goal in mind, he said with a smile. Your only goal is to learn one true thing about that person's actual life and heart. Aryan nodded seriously and decided he would do this every single day no matter what. He did not know then that this simple practice would soon change the whole direction of his life. The very next morning, Aryan walked towards the old well at the center of the village with nervous legs. He saw a girl named Sana sitting alone on the stone steps of the well, looking down quietly. Sana was known in the village as a hard-working and quiet girl, who rarely spoke to anyone freely. Aryan had seen her many times before, but had never once said a single word to her. That day, he took a deep breath and walked towards her with slow and steady steps. He sat near her on the stone steps and said genuinely and softly, "You look like you are thinking something deep today." Sana looked up surprised, because nobody usually noticed her silence or cared to ask about it. She said slowly, "I am worried about the harvest season and what our family will do this year." Aryan did not jump to give advice or talk about himself or his own village problems quickly. He simply said with full attention, "Tell me about it. I am truly listening to you right now." Sana paused and then started talking softly at first, and then with more and more feeling inside. She talked for a long time, and Aryan listened with all his heart and both his eyes present fully. He asked one small honest question when she paused, and she felt deeply seen and heard for the first time. By the time they both stood up to leave, something real and warm had been built between them. Sana smiled at him and said, "Thank you. I have never felt this understood before by anyone." Aryan walked home that evening feeling a fire growing stronger and warmer inside his chest. He went to his grandfather that evening and told him everything that had happened at the well. Grandfather listened carefully and then said with a proud and knowing smile on his old face, "Aryan, do you now understand what most people in this world are missing completely?" Aryan said thoughtfully, "People talk too much about themselves and listen too little to others around them." Grandfather nodded slowly and said yes, and that is exactly why they keep failing at every single conversation they have. He continued by saying something that Aryan would carry inside his heart for the rest of his entire life. The person who truly listens becomes the most powerful speaker in any room he enters. Aryan felt those words go deep like roots going down into the ground beneath his feet. He asked Grandfather, "But Grandfather, what do I say when the silence comes between us suddenly?" Grandfather laughed warmly and said, "A good silence between two people is better than 100 empty words spoken." He told Aryan that silence shared with another person honestly means both of you are truly present together. Aryan had never thought about silence in this beautiful and powerful way before that evening. He started understanding that conversation was not a performance meant to impress or entertain the other person. It was a bridge that you build together with honesty, presence, and genuine care for the other soul. Days passed, and Aryan kept doing the morning practice that Baba Guru had given him with full seriousness. He talked to the old farmer at the edge of the field every single morning with full presence. He talked to the young boy who carried heavy bundles of dried grass through the village path daily. He talked to the old woman who sat quietly weaving baskets alone near her small house wall. Each day he learned something new and real about the lives of people living all around him. His grandfather watched him from a distance with deep and quiet pride growing in his old wise heart. Baba Guru also noticed the change in Aryan every time he walked past with a straight back. Something was different in the way Aryan carried himself through the village now with ease. He no longer looked at the ground when walking past people in the village. He looked at their eyes with warmth and asked one honest and genuine question every single time. People started stopping him on the path just to talk to him and share things with him freely. The same boy who used to sit alone in the corner was now standing at the center of every honest conversation. One day during the big village gathering under the ancient banyan tree, something powerful happened that changed Aryan completely. The village elders were having a serious discussion about a big problem that was dividing the whole community. People were arguing loudly, and nobody was truly listening to the other side at all. Baba Guru was sitting quietly watching everyone shout over each other with closed ears. Then Baba Guru stood up and pointed slowly towards Aryan sitting among the crowd that day. He said in his calm and deep voice, "Let this young man speak to both sides today right now." Everyone went quiet, because Baba Guru's word was always respected without any question. Aryan stood up with a strong and steady heart beating inside his chest with purpose. He did not argue. He did not take any side. He simply asked each person one genuine and open question. He looked at the first elder and said, "Tell us what you are truly afraid of losing here, respected elder." The elder paused and then spoke honestly for the first time in that whole long meeting. Then Aryan turned to the other side and said, "And tell us what you truly hope for, honest friend." That man also paused and then spoke from his heart openly without any anger. Within a few minutes, both sides realized they actually wanted the same thing deep inside. They had just been using different words and carrying different fears all along. The argument that had gone on for 3 long days ended in one honest hour. The whole village saw that a young boy had done what no elder could do that day. He had listened his way to peace between 2 broken sides of the same community. After the gathering, Sana found Aryan walking alone on the village path under the evening sky. She said with honest and bright eyes, "Aryan, how did you do that back there so calmly today?" Aryan smiled and said, "I did not do anything great. I just truly listened to each person fully." She said, "That is the most powerful thing I have ever seen someone do in this village." Aryan thought for a moment, and then said something that came from the deepest part of his growth. Most people fail at small talk because they are trying to win the conversation inside their head. He continued, "They want to sound smart, funny, or impressive to the other person." He said, "But the truth is, every person alive just wants one thing from another human being." He paused and then said clearly, "They want to know that their life and their story actually matters to someone else." Sana looked at him quietly and said, "You really have changed so much, Aryan, truly." He smiled and said honestly, "I just learned to stop talking and start genuinely caring about others around me." That evening, Aryan sat beside his grandfather one last time under the old tree together. The stars were coming out slowly above the village sky one by one in silence. Grandfather put his old and strong hand on Aryan's shoulder with great and quiet pride. He said gently and clearly, "Aryan, you have found the one thing most people spend their whole life looking for." Aryan looked at him and said, "What is that, grandfather? Tell me one more time, please." Grandfather said slowly, "The ability to make another human being feel truly seen and truly heard." He continued, "That is not a gift you are born with. It is a choice you make every single day." Aryan nodded and felt something solid and real settle permanently inside his heart and soul. He knew now that real power did not come from having the best words ready to speak. It came from having the courage to stop, look, and truly listen with your whole heart open. Most people walk through life talking loudly, but connecting with nobody at all around them. Aryan had learned the hardest and most beautiful lesson that life quietly teaches very few people. This is the story of every single person who has ever felt invisible in a room full of people talking loudly. This is the story of everyone who tried to speak, but felt like nobody was truly listening to them. My friends, the world does not need more voices shouting into the empty air loudly. The world desperately needs more ears that are truly and completely open to hearing another soul. Like this video, so that this story reaches every person who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to this channel so that you never miss a single story that can change your life.